Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. It is September and we can finally start talking about more Halloween themed stuff. A lot of my collection that I've been working through this year has led up to this point where I can talk about a lot of horror stuff and rewatch and review for the first time on this channel stuff that I've seen a million times, as well as some stuff that I happen to own that I don't even like, that I think you'll get some surprises out of. This movie here, or this review here, is for a John Carpenter film from 2001. He co-wrote it with one of the guys that produced and worked on a bunch of his other movies. And this comes out again in 2001, like 3 or 4 years after his previous film that I actually really love, called Vampires. If you haven't seen Vampires, check it out. Really great flick. Badass movie. Anyway, this film here, I want to be clear with you. I've heard about its reputation for ages. Never seen it before. Not once. There are many John Carpenter films that I have not seen, but most of them I've seen again and again and again, whether it be Halloween, The Thing, They Live, whether it be The Ward. I actually used to like The Ward, even though it's pretty generic. It's not really scary or anything. I've seen The Ward a bunch of times. I don't even own it anymore. I need to rewatch that sometime. Maybe that'll be something I can talk about this September or Halloween, October, whatever. Anyway, so this movie here is called Ghosts of Mars. I knew it was going to be bad, and I think I saw a Nostalgia Critic or somebody talk about this ages ago, like 10 years ago, and I think that was the only time I ever saw footage from this movie. I found out that Ice Cube is kind of the main guy in the film, and that was it. That's all I knew. It sounded like a goofy B-movie, and one thing I have to bring up, this is like an hour and 40 minutes, I think. Yeah, about an hour and 40 minutes. And to me, the master of horror, not Wes Craven, John Carpenter himself, made this movie, and I can't tell if it's a prank on Hollywood and the producers. I can't tell if it's that, or if it's... I don't know. But John Carpenter, to me, is one of those great examples of a director that could not make movies in modern day setting. Directing and film in general and how to make a movie has changed so much from the 70s and 80s and everything before it, with sets, with everything, even down to effects turning more CGI focused. Carpenter doesn't translate to modern day very well. He doesn't really direct much anymore. I don't think it's a gig thing. I think he just doesn't want to do it. Apparently he's heavily into video games now, which is kind of cool too. So he's just kind of doing his thing, and, you know, God bless him. I love John Carpenter, great, talented man, amazing musician, and Ghost of Mars, from what I have seen of his filmography, is probably his worst movie. Easily, I would say. I have to be straightforward with you when I tell you, I fucking hated this movie. There are people I love on YouTube, like Sinister Cinema Reviews and Rambo Raff for Life, who defend this but understand why people think that it's bad. I fucking hate it. Hate it so much. I spent this past Labor Day weekend trying to work through this movie, and I got to the point it was so bad, I had to start fast forwarding a little bit because it was just moving so slow, and it was more than a B movie. It was like an F movie. It didn't really have anything going for it. I like that the majority of the sets are practical, but even for 2001, it doesn't look good. It's not well shot. It looks and feels cheap. The performances are phoned in from everybody, and Ice Cube is a great actor, in my opinion, from Boys in the Hood over to something like Are We There Yet? The dude deserved better, and this was before... I think either, well, no, was Boys in the Hood before this? Yeah, it would have had to have been. That's a 90s movie, right? Anyway, it also stars the chick from, I think it was Species, which I've never seen. I think I've seen bits and pieces of. She's kind of the main character here. Now, this is in the future, like I think it's 2176, according to IMDb. Very long way away. Basically, they're trying to terraform Mars, and they've got the majority of it done. There is a criminal that was caught that the chick from Species and a team of people, including Jason Statham, who is also in this. I love Jason Statham, big fan of him. Apparently he was going to play the Ice Cube role here, but they switched him out for some reason. This team of whatever they are, I really, truly, it's going to seem in this review like I didn't watch this movie because of a little bit of fast forwarding. I promise you I watched the majority of the film, and I don't understand anything that happened. It's so messy. It's such a mess of a movie in the worst possible way. So as I explained it, if it sounds like I'm forgetting something or missing something, it's because at certain points I either went completely brain dead or I just couldn't process what the hell was happening, because things are explained in flashbacks a lot of the time, and insane flashbacks. Most of the film is being told to us from the main chick from Species looking back to her government and whatever about what happened on this particular area of Mars. But anyway, her team gets sent out to go collect Ice Cube, who is imprisoned in one part of Mars. And when they get there, it's like the whole town is almost like a ghost town from a Western. Everything's empty, there's no one around. They're not really sure what's up with that. And when they find Ice Cube, they try to, get ready to take him and arrest him. And they come across a lady who seems to be having like visions. She's acting like she's on drugs. And apparently she is possessed by the ghosts of Mars. If it sounds stupid, you have no idea how much worse it gets. There was like an old mining team or something at this place that came across some kind of ancient evil, very much like Dolly Dearest, but in a worse way. And now their bodies, their corpses, whatever, have been possessed by these ghosts of Mars. Some of them are still around, kind of in hiding, trying to get away from the evil, undead, not really ever died, just possessed living people who have now dismembered themselves. They have filed down teeth, all this crazy shit. The ghosts themselves, when we get to see them, because it kind of turns into like a zombie movie with our squad of military folk trying to fight off these things at certain points. These things look hilarious. They are so awful. I don't think I saw one that I heard Sinister Cinema Reviews and Rambo Raff for Life in their reviews talking about in this movie. They would talk about these cool sounding designs. I don't think I saw any of them. I think that was the point of the film when I was watching it, that I had went brain dead because I couldn't remember any of these things they talked about. But the ones I did see were shocking, to say the least. The lead one, a lot of people joke when they talk about this film. Now that I've seen this, I've watched a bunch of reviews. A lot of people refer to the lead ghost as like a Kiss knockoff or Marilyn Manson. I think that's hilarious because he does look like both mixed together. He's dressed like a goth superstar. And my favorite thing in the film is the language of the ghosts. If you've ever watched South Park, there's a joke in early ages and early seasons of South Park many, many years ago, I think pre-season 5, that they would make fun of like angry mobs, right? And one of the noises they make, and you probably know this, is when the crowds go rabble, 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 and they're holding pitchforks and shit. That is what the ghost language sounds like. And it's hilarious. I laughed my ass off every time they did that. There was like 2 times, I think, in the film, I laughed so hard in this living room, or basement living room, whatever this is. I laughed so hard in this room, dude, you could hear it echoing all over the emptier walls in the building. It was hysterical to me. I couldn't believe that anybody, much less who I consider to be the master of horror, John Carpenter, put that shit in a movie. These ghost people going, rabble, rabble, rabble. It's awful. It's horrible. The costumes are terrible. The effects in the movie when people get killed. There was one that was kind of cool that I kind of liked about a soldier trying to save somebody else. That looked cool. There are characters that I was interested to see what happened to them, and I completely missed it. I don't know how. Didn't have my phone in my hand or anything. I just missed so much shit of people getting killed on our squad of people that I just kept missing all the time because of how bad this was. Again, I swear there's a part of me that went brain dead watching this movie because of how insanely stupid it was. Literally from the first couple of minutes of the movie, I could tell it was going to be bad. Because sometimes you hear a reputation about a film, you hear how horrible it is. One of my favorite examples of this are 2 movies on Netflix only. The Open House, which is not as bad as people made it out to be. Everybody said it was awful back in the day when it first released. I think it was like one of the first Netflix movies they put out. And the other one is probably one of my favorite horror films in the last like 10, 15 years, called I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. It's an Oz Perkins movie. It's amazing. People hate on that movie so much. I just read a thing on Reddit last night on one of the horror subreddits venting about how stupid that movie was. What the fuck are you people smoking? But then you defend shit like this, are you kidding me? Anyway, Ghost of Mars is awful. Everything, even down to like the music, Did I talk about the music yet? I don't think I did. John Carpenter does the scoring for the film, and I'm kind of iffy on that. I like his scores, every single one he's ever done. I don't think he's ever done a bad one, frankly. Even in horrible films he's worked on, like Halloween Ends. I really love John Carpenter's music. But apparently Anthrax, the heavy metal band, did part of the music here, and there was someone else. Let me look this up real quick. Maybe it's in the list. I don't think it is, of people who worked on the movie. Let's see, composer. It just says John Carpenter and Anthrax, but I could have sworn somebody else had worked on this movie too, for the soundtrack that I had seen in the comments section. But anyway, Anthrax, really great band. John Carpenter, incredible musician. Their music was too good for this shitty-ass movie. It really was. When the film started up, I thought it was going to be like Escape from New York music. It was not. I think it would have benefited this a lot. It's almost got like this underground rock type of thing, like not like the Beatles age, like something like Joy Division. It's nothing like that. That would not have suited this either. It's not like that, even though I thought it would be. It's very different. It's very different. It's weird. Why the fuck would Carpenter make this? I don't know. I've thought about it for like 2 or 3 days now since I watched it, and I cannot process what possessed this man to decide to make this movie. Did he go to Mars? Did they fucking possess him and force him to make this piece of shit? What happened to him? He's a great director. And again, a lot of these guys like him, like Wes Craven, they can't translate over well to the digital age of movies. I don't know what happened there. They could never direct something like a Transformers movie or anything like that. And that's fine. Not everybody's meant out to make everything in every genre. Not many people can do that. Kubrick couldn't do that. I'd flat out say that much. But Carpenter deserved better for his career, for his legacy that he already has. He's already got, again, to people like me calling him the master of horror, the dude's been making movies longer than I was alive. He deserves more. He deserves even more respect than he gets now. An incredible talent, making a horrendous movie with some of the worst writing, some of the worst acting, some of the worst directing, to be honest with you. I don't know what he was thinking. I just don't. I don't know what else to say about this movie. I just fucking hate everything about Ghosts of Mars. There's not a thing in it to praise anywhere in the movie. Some people will find enjoyment in this. As I said, 2 of my favorite reviewers on YouTube did. I do not. I hate it. I think it's easily his worst movie that I've seen. I haven't seen his early stuff, like Assault on Precinct 13, nor have I seen its remake. I've never seen... What else? Escape from Whatever Part 2. Haven't seen that. What's another one he did? He did like a space movie back in the day. I never saw that either. It looked like shit. I saw Red Letter Media talk about it years ago. I never watched it. But this is unforgivably bad. How do you waste Statham like this? This is before he became a huge star. But dude, why? Anyway, Ghost of Mars is one of those movies that I really, really don't want to keep, but I love and respect Carpenter so much that I'm ready to keep it in like one of these really thin slips, because I'm never going to watch this again. I have no reason at all to ever sit through Ghosts of Mars again. I'm never going to marathon this film in with everything else, all these classics like The Thing and Halloween and They Live and so on and so on. Never going to happen. Never. So, should I keep this? Should I get rid of it? What do you do in this situation? Because it's what I always struggle with, especially this year working through my backlog. Anyway, Ghosts of Mars. Fucking horrible. Do not waste your time, your money, nothing on this piece of crap. If I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, it's getting a 1 out of 5 stars for me. It's awful, dude. It's so fucking bad. Anyway, what do you think about it? What's your worst John Carpenter film? Is this the worst ghost movie and sci-fi horror film ever made? I'd love to hear all that down below, too. Thank you all for watching, guys. It was painful sitting through this movie. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.